It started with a sound that shouldn't have meant anything, a faint buzz from her phone in the dark. I wasn't even fully awake when I saw it light up, the glow brushing across her face where she slept beside me. I should have turned away, closed my eyes, gone back to sleep. But then I saw the words appear before the screen dimmed again. Can't wait to feel you again. Same hotel. My chest went cold. For a few seconds I thought I'd imagined it. My mind was still fogged with sleep, my body frozen. I turned my head toward Mia. She was breathing softly, the blanket drawn to her chin, completely unaware that my world had just cracked open. I stared at her for a long time. My wife. The woman I'd trusted with everything. I told myself there had to be some explanation. An old message, a wrong number, a cruel prank. Anything but what it looked like. By morning, I'd convinced myself it was nothing. I didn't mention it. Couldn't. The thought of asking her, of watching her lie to my face, made my stomach twist. So I buried it. Pretended. Smiled when she kissed me goodbye before work. A week later, she brought up the trip. It's just a little getaway, she said, pulling a sundress from the closet. The girls and I haven't gone anywhere together in years. Where to? Asked, trying to sound casual. Bali. 4 days. Don't worry, I'll send pictures. She laughed as she stuffed her suitcase, humming to herself like someone with nothing to hide. Something in me told me to stop her. To say no, don't go. But I didn't. I just stood in the doorway, pretending to believe her. When the taxi took her away that night, I waved. She blew a kiss through the window, and I pretended not to notice that her smile didn't reach her eyes. The first couple of days, everything looked fine. She sent me photos, tropical cocktails, palm trees, bright blue skies. Her captions were all laughter and emojis. But there was something off. The details didn't match. The sunlight in her photos looked like afternoon when she'd said it was morning. The places she tagged didn't exist. Even the friends she was supposedly with weren't posting anything at all. I told myself I was being paranoid. But the seed of doubt had already taken root. On the third night my phone rang. It was my old college friend Ryan, who now worked for an airline. His tone was hesitant. Hey Liam, weird question. Was Mia supposed to be in Bali? My heart stopped. Yeah. Why? She's not. He exhaled slowly. Her flight record says Phuket. She checked in with another passenger. Same last name, though not yours. The silence stretched between us. What name? I asked quietly. Ethan Langston. Langston. My last name. It felt like the air was sucked out of the room. You sure? Yeah, man. I thought you should know. When the call ended, I just sat there, staring into nothing. Every sound in the apartment seemed amplified. The hum of the refrigerator, the faint traffic outside, my heartbeat thudding in my ears. My hands were shaking, my throat dry. That night I booked the next flight to Phuket. When I arrived, the heat was thick and heavy, clinging to my skin. The resort was breathtaking. White sand, golden lights flickering between palm trees, laughter from the poolside bar. It was the kind of place people went to fall in love or escape from their lives. I walked straight to the front desk. Hi, I said, forcing my voice to stay calm. My wife, Mia Langston. Room 412. The woman at the counter smiled politely. Of course, Mr. Langston. Shall I call your room? My pulse spiked. Go ahead. She dialed the number. The phone rang once, twice. And then I heard her voice faintly through the receiver. Light teasing. Yes, babe. The receptionist frowned. Your husband is here. The line went dead. Moments later, the elevator doors opened. She stepped out wearing a floral sundress, her hair still damp, her skin glowing from the sun. For a second, my heart betrayed me and remembered why I'd loved her. Then I saw him. He came out behind her, shirt unbuttoned, a wine glass in his hand, casual as if he owned the place. His expression shifted when he saw me, but not enough. Not enough to show guilt. Mia froze. Liam, she breathed. What are you doing here? I couldn't speak at first. All I could do was stare at her, the reality sinking in with brutal clarity. Finally I said, You tell me. She blinked rapidly. It's not. It's exactly what it looks like. Tears filled her eyes. I didn't mean for this to happen. Please let me explain. Explain how you ended up in another country, in a hotel, using my last name with someone who isn't me? She tried to reach for me, but I stepped back. Mia, stop. My voice was shaking, but I kept it low. You don't get to talk your way out of this. The man, Ethan, finally spoke, his tone calm, almost arrogant. Maybe we should take this somewhere private. I turned to him slowly. You've already taken enough, don't you think? He smirked, and for the first time in my life I wanted to hit someone. But I didn't. I just looked back at her and said the words I never thought I'd say. Pack your things. We're done. She reached out again, voice cracking. Liam, please, it's not what you think. I walked away before she could finish. The night air was thick and warm, but I felt nothing. No anger, no heartbreak. Just the numbness that comes when something inside you breaks too cleanly to bleed. The flight home felt like punishment. Every minute in that seat stretched longer than the one before it. The woman beside me slept soundly while I stared at the faint reflection of my face in the airplane window. I looked like a stranger. Hollow eyes, clenched jaw, hands that wouldn't stay still. When I unlocked the door to our apartment, everything was exactly as we'd left it. Her shoes by the entrance. Her perfume lingering faintly in the hallway. A framed photo of us smiling on our anniversary sitting on the table. It all looked so normal, so painfully ordinary, that for a moment I almost convinced myself it hadn't happened. Then I saw the empty space on her dresser where her favorite necklace should have been, and the illusion shattered. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just started packing her things. Every piece of her gone. The dresses, the books, the keepsakes, all boxed neatly and stacked against the wall. But when I picked up our wedding album, my hands stopped moving. I opened it, and there we were. Two people who believed forever was real. Her eyes in those photos had once been filled with trust, with something that looked like love. I closed the book and left it on the table, face down. Days passed. The silence in the apartment was a living thing. My phone lit up constantly. Her name over and over again. Calls, texts, voicemails. I ignored everyone. Until one afternoon she showed up. She looked nothing like the woman I'd seen in Phuket. Her hair was pulled back messily, her eyes red and swollen, her voice trembling as she spoke. Liam, please. Please just let me talk. I didn't stop her. She stood in the doorway, crying as words poured out in fragments. It wasn't planned. I didn't mean for it to go that far. Started with messages, then lunches. I thought it was harmless. I thought I could handle it. Her voice broke. I felt invisible. You were always working, always somewhere else in your head. He made me feel seen again. It hurt because a small, bitter part of me understood. Somewhere along the line, I had started taking her for granted, believing love was automatic, that she'd always be there. But understanding didn't mean forgiveness. You could have talked to me, I said quietly. You didn't need to destroy us to feel alive. She sobbed harder, her shoulders shaking. I'm sorry. Please just give me another chance. I ended it. I swear I did. I almost wanted to believe her. I almost wanted to reach out, wipe her tears, pretend we could fix what was broken. But then I saw her phone light up again. Another message. From him. You okay? Don't let him guilt you. I'll wait. And that was the end. Leave, I said. My voice was calm, almost too calm. Take your things and go. She looked like she wanted to fight, to plead again. But something in my expression must have told her it was over. She turned and walked out, closing the door softly behind her. For a long time I just stood there, staring at that door, waiting to feel something. Relief, grief, rage. But all I felt was exhaustion. Weeks passed. Then months. I started to rebuild myself, slowly. Therapy helped. So did distance. I stopped checking her social media, stopped wondering what she was doing. But healing was uneven. Some days I was fine, others I woke up feeling like I'd been hollowed out. Then one evening I got an email. The subject line read, "You deserve to know the truth." It was from a woman named Claire, Ethan's wife. Her message was short. Your wife wasn't the only one. Ethan has been using company trips to take different women abroad. He tells each one he's divorcing me. She was just another name on his list. Attached were photos. Ethan with another woman, laughing on the same beach where I'd found Mia. For a long time I couldn't move. I just sat there staring at those images, the irony stinging deep. My wife had destroyed our marriage for a man who didn't even see her as real. I forwarded the email to Mia without a single word. 10 minutes later she replied. I didn't know. He lied to me too. I stared at her message, feeling a strange mixture of satisfaction and pity. Then I deleted it. A year later I went back to Thailand. Not to find her, not to dwell on the past, but to reclaim something of my own. I walked along that same beach, the same one where I'd last seen her face under the harsh glow of betrayal. The water was calm, the air warm. I felt lighter somehow, like the tide had finally washed the last of her away. That night, as I watched the sun sink below the horizon, my phone buzzed one last time. It was her. I'll regret what I did for the rest of my life. I hope one day you find someone who never makes you doubt yourself. Typed a reply. Already did. Then deleted it before hitting send. Sometimes silence says more than words ever could. And as the waves rolled in around my feet, I finally realized. She hadn't just betrayed me. She had freed me.